Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another video, another deck that I'm excited to play in the Paradox Rift expansion that comes out later this week, I believe. So this one's going to be Chien Pao. So just like the last one was kind of like a deck that's already existed, but really just had some new tools from the Paradox Rift expansion. This is going to be the same thing, where it's already a really refined, established list that's very solid. Except now you're going to add some new Paradox Rift tools to it to make it an even better deck. So that's really what a lot of the new expansions and new cards in card games do. And so we saw the last video, I went over the Roaring Moon, which is my favorite card in the new set. I'm absolutely in love with Roaring Moon. And now we're going to go over Iron Hand. So in my opinion, this is the best way to actually play Iron Hands. I know a couple people are trying to play Iron Hands in things like Miraidon, but I really find that Miraidon, while it does struggle with one prizers like the Lost Zone matchup and the Gardevoir matchup, I really like the Chien Pao being able to gain a lot more consistency and power with Earthen Vessel already. And then on top of that, Iron Hands can fix the same matchups that Chien Pao struggles with, that the Miraidon struggles with, except now you just have a higher caliber deck, which is going to be just more powerful in that Chien Pao versus something like that Miraidon, which Miraidon's a very fine option too. But if you look here and you look at the Chien Pao matchup tables, matchup charts, of course, take all these with a little grain of salt, but for the most part, it tells you if something is like losing or winning. So for something that's losing is your Lost Zone, your Lost Box matchup, and your Lost Tina matchups are typically not winning. So because your Lost Box matchup looks pretty bad, and your Lost Tina matchup looks fairly bad, Iron Hands helps you out a lot with that, with being able to hit the 2-for-1 prizes, turns all your opponents 1 prizers into 2 prizers, so you're not going to be behind on that tempo swing anymore. So you can hit them with the, okay, here's Iron Hands, boom, smack you up, because, for those of you that don't know, Baxcalibur says, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. It doesn't require it to be a water-type Pokemon, which is what a lot of people kind of thought. So you can go onto your Iron Hands here, so it only takes 1 lightning energy out of the whole attack. Find the 1 lightning energy with your Earthen Vessel, and then attach 3 water energies in 1 turn with your Baxcalibur, and then boom, you can attack with Iron Hands turn 2. You know, all you needed was the 1 electric energy to attach, and it's really, really easy to do that with this deck, especially once you add in the Earthen Vessel. It's really not that hard to do that. So because of that, this is a deck I'm really excited for. So some of the other matchups is your Gardevoir matchup is kind of even. It's basically even, but this will make it much better for you. So it's not even anymore. It's just straight up good. So it was already, I think some players, if you played Chien Pao, a lot of the Chien Pao players thought that it was unfavored. A lot of the Gardevoir players thought that it was unfavored for them. So that's how you know it really is more of a 50-50. But Iron Hands definitely will turn this around and make it not a 50-50. Same with Charizard, it would allow you to KO any of your opponent's smaller Pokemon before they can get evolved. So if your opponent plays like, they go turn 1, Mew in the active, Pidgey, Charmander, right? And then so you can't really stop them from getting a Charizard. What you can do though is you can boss up the Pidgey, KO it with a Iron Hands, take 2 prizes off of it, and then now you only need to KO 2 Charizards, which isn't the hardest to do when you have things like Chien Pao that can very easily hit that 330 one-hit KO mark needed to KO the Charizard from that point, right? So that's very, very solid for you. It really helps a lot of those matchups. Your Lugia matchup you see here is kind of losing. Lugia Archeops is losing. Single Strike Lugia is losing. Okay, what helps with that? Iron Hands. So Iron Hands, not only does the 120, if it can knock out a Lugia V. If you, let's say you get to go first, your opponent has a Lugia V in the active. On your turn 2, when they still just have it as a Lugia V, well, you can use Brave Amp application. I think it's Amp to meet you. I don't know the actual name because it hasn't been translated fully yet. But basically, you can use the 120 damage move to do 240, and then now you're going to KO the Lugia V and get 3 prizes from it. Or if you're going second and your opponent already gets the Lugia V-Star, you can just do Arm Press for 160, and that 320 is going to be able to one-hit KO a Lugia V-Star because it only has 280 HP. So either way, you have an option to one-hit KO a Lugia V-Star, and they can't one-hit KO this back without something like that, without the Tyranitar or a the Weirdeer, but the Weirdeer is going to be much later into the game for that to even, be possible. So that matchup right there, so it's already, slightly losing for you, is going to get much better because you now have access to a good lightning attacker. So very, very good matchup for you now. So this is something I'm very excited for. I'll go over the cards quickly, but not too long. This video will be a little bit shorter because for the most part, it is still just a Chien Pao deck, which Chien Pao is already an established archetype. It's done really well. Grant Shin has done really well with it. The last like 3 regionals, I think he's gone top 8, top 16, top 8, or something like that. I know he has at least 2 top 8s in the last 3 events, last 3 regionals for NA regionals, so that's very good. I don't know how he did at Pittsburgh, but he's been doing fairly well overall with this deck. So, for those of you that don't know, the idea is you use Chien Pao to get 2 water energy, and then Chien Pao's ability is Water, 60x. So you can discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon, not just Chien Pao, but all of your Pokemon, and this attack will deal 60 damage for each energy discarded this way. So this is a good way to kind of ramp up energy really quickly with something like a Baxcalibur, which I showed you earlier, which just lets you play any amount of water energy, basic water energy out of your hand. So you can hit these really big numbers all in one turn. So again, like the Charizard has 330 HP. Okay, well, all you need is 6 water energy, which if you can get 6 water energy, thanks to Chien Pao's, now we have a superior energy retrieval to get 4 out of your discard pile. So let's say you've already discarded a couple. If you already discarded a couple, you can do superior water energy, get those 2 back. Chien Pao, get 2 out of your deck. Earthen Vessel now is a card, which lets you tutor out 2 basic energies from your deck. All you have to do is discard 1 card out of your hand. There's 2 basic energies. So you can discard a Pokemon that's useless or any useless card, go get 2 water energies, and boom, that's 1, 2. The Chien Pao searches out 2 more, that's 3, 4. So that's already 4. That right there is 240 damage. So 240 damage is going to be able to KO most 2-prize Pokemon, if not every 2-prize Pokemon. Most 2-prize Pokemon in the game right now. And then if you do need the last 2 to get to that, to 6, to get to that 360 damage mark to 1-hit KO anything in the meta, that's usually not too hard to do because you're going to be drawing cards with Bibarel, you're going to be drawing cards with Greninja. So you're going to have things like the Super Rod to put energies back into your deck. You're going to have things like the Superior Energy Retrieval to get the cards you've already discarded. Again, you're on triple Earthen Vessel. Might even be 4, but triple Earthen Vessel feels pretty good. Stat-wise, like numbers-wise, to be able to find the last 2 you need. And it's going to be fairly easy to hit that. Between your 4 Pokestops, where you're going to be able to hit any of these item cards. You have the quadruple Irida to be able to get any of these item cards, which is nice. You could even play an Arven if you really wanted to. If you wanted to end up playing something like a I forgot what it's called, but there's the tool for the future Pokemon or some sort of belt or anything like that if you end up needing it. Really, I don't think you need it. So Irida is really, really nice because it finds your Baxcalibur, finds your Rare Candy, and then after turn 2, it can find you the Energy Retrieval you need, find you the Earthen Vessel you need, find you the Nest Ball to go get the Iron Hands, or the Heavy Ball to go get the Iron Hands, anything like that. So very, very much like this style of deck. And then you have only 1 Iono as your draw support. Just people are like, oh, where's your draw? Well, your draw is going to come from your Radiant Greninja and your Bibarel. So Bibarel, because you're discarding a lot of cards, or ideally what you're doing every turn is you're searching for a lot of water energy. Then with things like the Chien Pao, the Earthen Vessel, Greninja will draw you into it. So you're searching for a lot of energy. Then, oh my gosh, excuse me. Then you're using Baxcalibur to put all of that energy from your hand into play in 1 turn. Well, you're going to go down to, like 1 card, 2 cards, like a very small card hand. And then you're going to be able to just use Bibarel to draw back up to 5. And just immediately have 5 cards, so every single turn. Because you have good ways of emptying your hand, you also have Ultra Balls, which you can use to empty your hand if you just have useless cards. Like if it's, turn 3 and your hand is Ultra Ball and you have 2 Battle VIP Pass in your hand. Well, you literally can't play the Battle VIP Pass. So you can play the Ultra Ball even if you don't need a Pokemon from it, just to get 3 cards out of your hand to activate the Bibarel, which is going to be very solid. So that's where a lot of your draws come in. But Iono is still nice sometimes as a comeback mechanic to be able to say, like, oh, your opponents have 2 cards or 2 prizes or 1 prize left. Okay, let me Iono you down to 1 or Iono you down to 2 and start KOing, and that's going to be how you can come back from a lot of games. That plus Iron Hands is a good way to come back. That plus Chien Pao 1-hit KOing everything is going to be a good way to come back from that. And then you have Greninja to draw cards also. So Triple Boss is very solid. I saw some people playing cross switchers, but I think with the addition of the earthen vessels, I really just like playing boss and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna just play to hit the earthen vessels off your Pokestop, and you don't really need the 4 cross switchers anymore, because I also like the heavy balls kind of needed. A lot of people are already playing heavy ball to get your Chien Paos back, because if you only had one Chien Pao in your deck and it gets KO'd, it can be kind of awkward with few super rods, and it can just be a little bit harder than it needs to be. So I really like the heavy ball, especially with it allows us to play only one Iron Hand. So if it does get prized in a matchup that you really need it, it's not going to be that bad because you do have the heavy ball. So I really like going back into the 3 bosses instead of playing the cross switchers. So this still lets you boss 3 times instead of 2. You could put a Luminion in this deck if you really wanted to, but I don't think you need to. And I'm really happy with kind of how all of these splits ended up. Of course, this is all still beta. This is all before the game comes out. But as soon as the cards do launch and go live on Pokemon TCG Live, you best believe I'm going to be playing all of the games with the decks that I put off in this series. So this one, the Roaring Moon deck from yesterday, and more decks to come that you'll be seeing in the future days here. And then I'll put out a video on Friday saying, you know, the 5, basically clumping all of the decks I've made into one video, saying these are the 5 decks I'm most excited to play in the Paradox Rift expansion. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if how you're gonna use Iron Hands. Like I said, the most ways I've seen people try and use it is going to be either Miraidon or Chien Pao also. So if you have a different way than one of those two, or if you really think that the Miraidon is much better, or if you have some secret tech that other people haven't found yet with the Iron Hands and the Miraidon, or the Iron Hands in general, let me know down in the comments below, because I always love to hear about the tech, and if it's, you know, interesting or sounds really solid, I'll try it out myself and make a video on it and give you credit for it. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe for all of that stuff. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and my journey into the Pokemon community has been amazing. Thanks to you guys so far and all of your support. I really appreciate it. That's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.